The City Mouse and the Country Mouse. The Country Mouse is played by Gaga. The City Mouse is played by Gigs. A long time ago, on a beautiful, quiet farm, lived a happy country mouse named Tammy. Tammy loved living in the country. She ate healthy vegetables and delicious fruits right from the ground. She drank fresh water from the streams and played with her furry friends. One day, her cousin Jenna came to visit. Jenna was a city mouse and had never been to the country before. When Jenna arrived, they went to Tammy's little house under a tree and ate a lunch of yellow potatoes and red apples. "Isn't it delicious?" Tammy asked. Well, Jenna said, only nibbling at the food. Tammy began to worry that her cousin wasn't happy with the food. "You don't like it?" she asked. "I do," Jenna said. "I'm just not used to eating this way." "You mean you don't eat like this in the city?" Tammy wondered. Jenna shook her head. "No, our food is always cooked, and we eat all our meals at a table." Tammy felt embarrassed by her simple country food. Next, Tammy took Jenna to play in the mud, her most favorite thing to do. But Jenna didn't want to get dirty. "You don't like playing in the mud?" Tammy asked. "Not really," Jenna said. "Mud is icky. I like to play with dolls in the city." Tammy felt embarrassed that she liked to play in the mud. "What else is different in the city?" Tammy asked. "In the city, there are very tall buildings filled with lots of people," Jenna said. Now, Tammy also felt embarrassed by her little house made of hay under a tree. "But your home is lovely," Jenna said, trying to make Tammy feel better. That night, Tammy dreamt she was living in the city with lots of dolls, tall buildings, and fancy restaurants. So the next day, Tammy asked to go back to the city with Jenna. "Yes," Jenna exclaimed. "I can't wait to show you where I live." Tammy and Jenna hopped on a bus and headed to the city. When they arrived, Tammy couldn't believe what she saw. Tall buildings, taxis, and so many people. "What shall we do first?" Tammy asked with excitement. "Let's go to a restaurant," Jenna said. So they went to a fancy restaurant and sat at a big table. Tammy had never eaten at a table before. The waiter brought them a feast of hot food. But when Tammy took a bite of the potatoes, she didn't like what she tasted. And when she took a sip of the hot soup, it burned her tongue. "I don't think I like this," Tammy thought. After lunch, they decided to travel the city. Suddenly, a big truck drove by and made a loud noise that scared Tammy. "What was that?" Tammy asked. "That's just a garbage truck," Jenna explained. "They're really loud." Finally, Jenna took Tammy to her house. All the rooms had carpets and wallpaper, unlike the straw and hay in Tammy's home. That night, when she and Jenna got into bed, Tammy couldn't sleep because of all the noise from the street outside. She just kept thinking about her fruit and vegetables and her furry friends back home. So the next day, when they got up, Tammy thanked Jenna for letting her visit, but said she was going to go back to the country. "You have a nice life here," Tammy said, "but the city isn't for me. I'm a country mouse." Tammy hugged Jenna and hopped on a bus back to the country. She was happy to be heading home. She learned that not all mice like the same thing. Some mice like to live in the city, and others like to live in the country. And that's okay. What matters most is that you should be happy with your life and be nice to others who come from different places. The end.